Welcome to I Wrote That, a podcast where we bring authors and industry experts together to talk about all things books and make the journey to authorship just a little bit easier. My name is Larissa Sohan, and I am the CEO of Next Page Publishing, a hybrid publishing house where we help entrepreneurs write books to grow their businesses. Now, I'm on a mission to help aspiring authors feel like they are in control of the publishing journey and that they are supported by a team of experts who genuinely want the best for them and their books. If you are in the very beginning of your journey, or maybe you have a manuscript that you're finished and you're not sure how to get it out into the world, I encourage you to reach out to us at nextpagepublishing.net. You can schedule your free discovery call and find out how our team of experts can make your journey to being a published author easy, smooth, and successful. Now, without further ado, let's get on to our next amazing guest and make your journey to authorship a little less complicated. Welcome to another episode of I Wrote That. My name is Larissa Sohan, and I am so excited to be your host today with the legendary Phil Better. And his name just is the icing on the cake for his whole personality, his whole approach to interviews, his whole approach to podcasting. So it's a little intimidating to have him here today because he is the podcast pro. He is the leader of the Podcast Mogul. He is the Podcast Mogul. He's totally incredible. And he helps authors leverage the power of podcasting to grow their audience of readers. So I'm really excited to have him here today because I know most of you, one of your huge marketing strategies is podcasting. So I'm going to dig all of the secrets out of Phil today. And he told me before the show, he's going to give it all away for free. So I will make good on that. Having started his podcast journey in 2024 with the launch of The Phil Better Show, he now manages 7 podcasts for himself and his clients, which have won awards for the Best Business Podcast and Best Quality and Social Impact Podcast at the 2021 Sport Podcast Awards. Whoa, that's huge. His main goal, it's little. He just has a very small goal to launch 100 million podcasts and allow those podcasts to change the lives of the podcasters. So like just a tiny goal. I mean, you could go bigger, Phil. So welcome to the show, Phil. Like I said, I'm a little too intimidated to have you here because I've been a guest on your show and you're incredible. So welcome.
Thank you very much for the kind words. I've never had legendary put in front of my name, so I feel very honored that I now have that title in front of my name. So I want to thank you, Larissa, for having me here. And if you think you're intimidated, I'm super intimidated because I'm usually on the other side of the microphone asking the questions. I'm not receiving the questions. So it's been a hot minute since I've been a guest, so I'm a little uneasy. I can tell you the nerves are equal on both sides.
Excellent. That makes for a good show when neither of us know what the heck we're doing. So great. So I'm going to start out the question with, how did you get into podcasting? Podcasting has been booming over the last couple of years. It's one of the leading forms of media at this point. So how did you get into it and decide this is what you were going to chase?
So I do have to make a little correction to the bio. You said 20, did you say 2014 or 2020, 2024?
I have 20. I hope I said 2014.
Okay, I heard the 4. I couldn't remember if you said 14 or 24. But if you said 14, yes, that's correct. If you said 24, no, it's 14.
Okay.
I've been in this space for about a decade, and it was because of Kevin Smith, who actually got me first into podcasting. Because I've been admiring Kevin Smith my whole life. I literally have his Funko Pop on my desk here, because I fell in love with Clerks, and then I found out more about him, and I was like, holy crap, this guy is just like me. And seeing how he has reinvented himself years after year, and then he started his podcast empire, if you will, and I was like, oh, this seems relatively easy. I can do this. um Surprise, surprise, no, it's far from easy. Recording this part is the easy part where we're just sitting chatting. This is the easiest part of podcasting. It's the pre and post production that slips up everybody. And I started learning about the post production, doing it all myself, and then 2020 hit and everybody had a fun time, especially me with my burnout in 2020. So I stopped the Phil Better Show because I couldn't do it anymore. I was really just burnt out from work and all that. And then I deep dived into the world of entrepreneurship because I was coming from a financial background in banks, and I just started trying my hand at different, online businesses, affiliate marketing, drop shipping, print on demand, all the stuff that was blowing up in 2020 during the summer. And I realized I failed at all of them, 100%. 100% failed. I am proud that I failed, because I learned. I learned that I knew nothing.
Mhm.
And so in October of 2020, I decided, hey, I need to talk to people who know shit because I know nothing. And so I crafted this show called the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. In November, I started interviewing entrepreneurs. The podcast full name is Invest in Yourself because I was investing in myself, right? And I wanted to become a digital entrepreneur. And so I was coming from the part of, I know the power of podcasting. I've been in this space for so long, saw the explode in 2020, saw the Joe Rogan explosion. I saw the true crime explosion. Like that's how long I've been in this. Like I was there before true crime was even a thing, you know, rolling around in the dust, if you will, before the flames of true crime popped up. And then starting interviewing, and all I did was ask them questions like, how did you do this, and how did you get that, and how did you get your first client, and what made you figure this out, and this and that. And like surprisingly, every single entrepreneur was like, yeah, sure, I'll tell you. And it was like just revealing the secrets of life to me. And I was like, wait, it's this easy, it's this simple. um, and then slowly after a while, in March, I signed I received my first award for the podcast, best business podcast of 2020, with only like a month worth of episodes. And I was like, wait, what?
Oh
I
my
won
gosh.
against all these other amazing podcasts. It was an independent podcast award, but it's still like, hey, my
It's
peers have
huge.
recognized me, right? I know what I'm doing. Then I signed my first client. Within 18 months, he made $1 million. He's an author as well. So he made $1 million with the podcast and the book, and then signed TWS Sports Podcast to be their producer, which means I just pretty much all I do is I get a call from the actual producer, and he's like, I need help with this, and I'm like, okay, you do this. And so my job is just pretty much helping them out. And then they won multiple awards. I've done amazing things. The TWS Sports Podcast, for people who don't know, is a school in England that helps students and young adults with learning disabilities. So, primarily mental illness. They focus on that with autism and different aspects of the spectrum. And they've been able to, and they interview legends in the UK sports world. And they've been interviewing some amazing people. They even got some WWF or WWE wrestlers on. Kurt Angle, Mike Chioda, who's a referee, and Mankind have been three of the big ones they have had on, and I'm pretty sure they have more. But they've been able to help the students develop the skills, because it's all student run. The prince the Adam, who's the pretty much the producer, the teacher who runs it, he just goes out and gets the guests. He does the hard work, if you will, of guest finding. Now it's pretty easy. I'm like, dude, you have the easiest get ever, because whoever says no to children,
They're a
they
monster.
suck.
I
They're a
mean, write them
monster,
off. Yeah.
right? But you have an extra add-on. Like if they say no to kids with special needs, now they're on the seventh level of hell.
Yeah,
Like they'll
absolutely.
never coming out of there. So like he has an easy time getting guests, and I'm really jealous of his. his he just, hey, we're the TWS Sports Podcast, a podcast for kids with autism, teaching them, communication skills. And like if you say no to that, like who are you? You have to
Yeah.
ignore it. You have to
Where
be
are
like,
your priorities?
yeah,
Like,
where are your priorities? And you kind of have to push that side. Like, I didn't see the email. If you're
yeah,
gonna say
that's
no,
right.
I can't see the email. But yeah, they've won multiple awards. They've actually, one of the students ran with the Olympic torch, the
Oh
Special
my
Olympics
gosh.
torch, through the town. Movie premieres, a whole bunch of like amazing uh, events that they were able to go to, be invited to. So like that's what both Lloyd and the TWO Sports Podcast are like my two favorite podcasts that I have, because they've just done so much. Like Lloyd in the business side has produced like results beyond my wildest dreams, but the TWS Sports Podcast is like that. It's the human side of podcasting that I
Hmm.
love and doing that. And then there's the other podcasts that I have, the podcast series, the Stock 32 Me, the Phil Better Show. Those are mine. I have four that are mine. And I have two more that are in the works.
Did you say stock dirty to me?
Stock dirty to me, yes.
I love that. That's excellent.
It's
Okay.
all about investing in the stock market smartly, not trying to be diamond hands, not trying to play the market, figuring out what's the next stock that's going to boost up. No, we look at this is how you analyze a stock so that you understand why it's valuable, but also we tell you don't try and beat the market. ETFs, funds are probably the simplest way for most of us who don't have like 34 hours a day to analyze stocks and play on the market. Look at an ETF, look at a fund that is doing well, and just put your money in there and just keep like investing into there. And we try and talk to other investors who are in the market on Stock Dirty to Me, get their ideas of like what people should learn when they first get into this world. Because I know nothing about the stock market. All I know is buy low, sell high.
Yeah.
And the sins of the world. That's what my father taught me when I was younger. It's like buy low, sell high, and invest in the sins of the world, because the world is full of sinners.
They
And
sell. Yep.
hey, sinners buy stuff, so why not?
Yeah.
And as great advice as that is, it's not going to make you wealthy. It's not going to pay you the dividends that you want over time. So I linked up with some great people, started the show. It went on hiatus and it's slowly coming back now. So
Cool.
life is a lot of fun.
It's full of interviews and interesting people. And this podcast is one of my favorite things to do. We're going into season 4 or we're
Let's
in season
go.
4 now. And it's just the conversations you get to have with unique and diverse people is incredible. I want to talk about, you said in the beginning that you started the podcast and you're like, oh, this will be easy. One of my favorite mottos is, I didn't do this because it was easy. I did it because I thought it would be easy.
That's
And
the
that's
greatest
like,
motto I've ever heard.
it's the entrepreneur motto. It's the way of life. Like, add a credo to it and we're good to go. Like, get an insignia, because that's our motto. I thought this would be easy, and turns out I'm 3 years in and it's not.
It's far from easy. Yeah, podcasting is far from easy. It's simple. I'm changing the lingo in my life, trying to get rid of the try, easy, and not. Those are the three words I want to get rid of in my vocabulary, because they're limiting beliefs to me. If you try something, well, where the minute you put your mind or you attempt to do something, you already done it, so there's no more trying. And if you decide not to do it, well, you've already made that decision, so there's no more trying. So that's why I'm trying to get
Are you emulating Yoda? Is that what you're doing?
don't tell anybody. Star Wars is also a major factor in my life. Do or do not, there is no try. Funny enough, that is my high school quote in the yearbook.
Excellent. As long as you're consistent.
I lost it for a bit in the corporate world, but it's coming back to me. The corporate world just sucks everything out of you.
Oh yeah.
Good thing I left. But yeah, it's simple. In the idea behind a podcast, starting a podcast is very simple. It's the maintenance of the podcast that's hard, and it's just like a business. I've learned that it's just like a business, because you have to wear all the hats, just like an entrepreneur has to wear all the hats. You're the producer, you're the editor, you're the promoter, you're the host, you're the editor. You're doing all the jobs until you can finally take off one hat and hand it to someone else, and then you hand off another hat until you're down to like the CEO, the host, if you will. And it's, like I said, it's simple but far from easy.
Yeah. Attention, all aspiring authors. Are you ready to turn your book dreams into reality? Look no further than Author Allies, your ultimate companion on the journey to becoming a published author. Picture this: a membership site that offers structure, accountability, skill development, and unwavering support to bring your book ideas to life. That's exactly what Author Allies provides. Dive into weekly writing workshops where you can focus on your goals and stay motivated. Need expert advice? Our monthly Ask the Expert sessions connect you directly with industry professionals for valuable insights. Engage with fellow members through our Beta Reader Switch program, perfect for refining your manuscript before publication. Get access to a list of our verified resources so that when it's time to edit, design, and publish your book, you know where to turn. You can also enhance your craft with our writing training modules. Complete the exercises designed to elevate your skills and participate in the challenges. And as an added bonus, you can enjoy exclusive discounts on our future programs to help you streamline your publishing services. And if you're looking for a little bit more personalized advice, you will have access as a member to our one-on-one coaches to provide tailored support from our experienced professionals. Your literary dreams are within reach within our community of like-minded authors and expert guidance. Visit nextpagepublishing.net to join the membership and create a community around you and your book that guarantees your success. I'm going to flip the script a little bit to from hosting to guesting, because a lot of the people that are listening to this podcast, they are hungry to be guests. And I know I have a very specific process to put podcasts through before I even apply. I want to see what their average ratings are. I want to see how many shows they put out a month, what show length is, who their topic, what their normal audience looks like, what the topics they bring on the show. So make sure I'm a good fit, but also make sure that it's going to be worth my time.
Of course.
So when people pitch you, and I have been one of the people that have pitched you, what is it that you're looking for from that first touch point pitch?
That you don't make it all about you. I do podcasting for my audience. Like I said, the first reason I started my digital entrepreneur podcast was to learn to be an entrepreneur. How is it that we make money in this entrepreneurial space? What are the things what are the pitfalls, this, that, and then? So I'm looking like, what are you going to give me as a host that I'm going to be able to give to my audience? Will I be able to ask you questions that I am interested in that will formulate into large discoveries or even small discoveries for my audience?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm talking to you and I ask you a question and it makes me go, shit, that's great. Like, I didn't know this. This is something that's new to me. Episode's amazing. I love it. It's going to be a banger, if you will, because I know my audience is going to get something out of there. Because I was like, I didn't know this. This is incredible. So when I get that pitch, if I'm reading it and it's just like, this is what I've done, and it's all about me, I don't care about you. You have nothing. You're using me to boost your credibility, and for me, that's a lose-lose. No one's winning here. You're winning, but I'm not going to ask you the questions that are going to make you seem like a genius, make you seem like you're valuable to my audience. Whereas I get some pitches like yours that says, hey, this is what I've done, but this is what I want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, oh, you're providing me with the stuff that's going to make you look like a genius and make me seem like a god, in essence.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I love. How are we going to work together and make this a winning thing? Because if you're only coming from I and it's only about me, and not about the audience, you're not coming on my podcast. End of discussion. So I look for people who are, and the pitches that are like, hey, this is who I have. And luckily now I have funnels for my guests. So it makes my life a lot easier because I've connected with podcast managers or podcast placers, bookers, whatever. And I've developed a relationship with them so they know who I want as my guests, but I also trust that they're going to give me really good guests. And then I've gone into PR firms, connected with them, and they're like, yeah, sure, we love what you're doing. Here are some of our guests, and like I put them through a trial. Like if they give me 2 to 3 good guests in the first batch, then I'm like, okay, cool. I give them a booking link. I'm like, just book. I don't need to know who. You've given me guests who are in line with what I want. Here's your link. Just book your guests. You don't even have to tell me who they are. Just book them, and I'll see them in the up and coming. So it's really, I want to know that you're going to give something to my audience. Maybe it's not necessarily a freebie, but you're going to give value. You're going to give a piece of advice that's going to change someone's life. And that's what I'm looking for. What are you bringing to my audience? Because I already know what you're getting. You're getting the chance to say that you've been on an award-winning podcast. You've been interviewed by the Podcast Mogul. You've been interviewed by someone who's done I'm close to 700 interviews at this point in my career, and have been on the show with guests that range from Knut Blackson, who's known as the billionaire whisperer, pretty much, who helps billionaires like make their lives better and self-improvement in that. I've had the owner of sports teams on my, like I had an owner of a sports team on my podcast. Like that's mind blowing for me. But it's like your my level of credibility, my authority that I have in this space for being in this space for so long. Like you come on my podcast, you're getting a lot of authority because
We're borrowing that
and you're
basically.
borrowing it
Yeah.
straight from me, and I'm like, okay, but what are you going to give me in return? Like, I
Yeah.
have no problem giving my authority away because authority to me means nothing,
Yeah.
because everybody can have authority in this game now, in this space. But over it's like my credibility with my audience, I'm giving that away to you. My the audience trust, I'm handing it to you, and I want to make sure that you're going to give it back to them tenfold. And there are some podcasts I don't release when I interview people, and I'm like, I've been pulling, like, it's like I'm at the dentist pulling answers out, and I'm like, I'm not going to put this out because it's not worth my time. Like, I did more talking. I shouldn't talk. It's my podcast, but I shouldn't talk. Like, I should ask a question. My whole thing is like I should be talking 5 minutes to 6 minutes of the 30 to 45 minutes of my podcast. The rest of it, I don't want to. No one should hear my voice. I want to be the voiceless. I just want to be like, question was asked, answer. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's how I would love to be. But yeah, I look for someone who's going to give value and not take value.
I think I know why I won the pitch, because I think I have a line in there that's like, I'm excited to lend my voice to your audience. I'm excited to give your audience something that they're going to be interested in. So that's very cool.
Mm.
Um, you said something about, or you said you shouldn't talk much on your podcast. I'm really curious. So a lot of my authors, they want to start their own podcast as a way to build their brand. And I know this podcast for me is a huge brand builder. I have potential clients listen to this podcast and they're like, oh my gosh, your story about this. And as much about me as it is about my guests. That's just the format of my podcast. So how do you, like, my authors are trying to sell programs. They're trying to sell memberships, communities, whatever it is, out of their book and out of their podcast. So how do you balance the host's agenda versus the guest's agenda?
So this is a sticky situation because I don't look at I never started my podcast for me. It was always for my guests and my audience. So when I started, I didn't have anything to give away, but my guests did. So that's how I did. So for me, it was always about the guest. Now, if we're flipping it around, if you're an author, now I'm going to ask you a question because this is going into me creating a show. Pretty much, I'm going to
Mhm.
create a show right here live on air. I'm going to use you as an example. You're the author. Are you writing a book, nonfiction or fiction book?
Nonfiction.
Nonfiction. Okay. Is it a biography or is it a how-to?
It would be a self-help mingled with stories and actionable steps for their readers to take.
So a how-to, pretty
A
much.
how-to, yeah.
Yeah, it falls. I
Yeah.
say how to because it's like it's going to teach you something.
It's going to teach
Um,
you something through the modality of storytelling. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So it's a how-to book. There. Boom. Now that we have that how-to book, you have three options as a podcast. You can do solo episodes where you break down each part of your book into, so let's say you have 12 chapters, you have 12 months. Now you can do a monthly podcast on each chapter. However, most books, their chapters have kind of like subsections. So if your book has subsections, now you can do a weekly podcast because you can do the first month can be on chapter one, and then you have four subsections if you're lucky, or you have three, and then you finagle around. The months that have more weeks, then you just put a bonus episode or you do a recap episode or something like that, and that's all it is. So it's solo episodes, weekly episodes, about 20 minutes max, on the topic of your book with your call to action. Hey, book a call with me. There's your podcast
Beautiful.
right there. Easy breezy, beautiful. Now the next part is the scripting, the production, the promotion, getting it into the hands of the right people. However, by using your podcast, you can go, hey, book a call with me or pick up my book.
Hmm.
And then you send them to your website. They fall into your funnel, the book funnel that you've obviously set up because you're a genius writer and you've
Thank you for
worked with people.
saying that. Funnels are key to authorship. Yes,
it,
carry
it
on.
funnels are funnels are key to all all digital entrepreneurship, whether you're an author, podcaster, marketer, wrench wielder, if you will, whatever business you're in, you're not in that business. You're in the business of marketing. That's
Mhm.
what I've learned. Because once you, I have a podcast, but I'm in the business of marketing podcasts. I
Mhm.
have to market that podcast. I have to market my business. So that's what you have to do. You have to lead them to your funnel, and then the funnel takes over. If you have a good funnel set up, you're printing money, and your podcast is your marketing game. But yeah, that's the first thing you can do. But if you're like, well, I'm scared to talk and I don't like the sound of my voice, which I fully understand. Worked in call center, I could never listen to my voice ever, and to this day I cannot listen to my voice. But people are like, you have such an amazing voice. I'm like, yes, you can
Also,
enjoy
very
it.
good at doing character voices. You have a world in
Oh,
audiobooks.
yeah, I can go really deep and be very sensual if you would like. Or I could go really high and have some fun, like I'm a 2-year-old child. Yeah, I was doing voices my whole life. I wanted to be an actor, funny enough, and I ended up in podcasting. Very close.
Very
Uh,
close, actually. Yeah.
yeah, but I completely lost my train of
So
thought.
what's podcast 2 and 3? So option 1 is
Oh yeah, the
solo.
funnel. Yeah,
Yes, into the
solo
funnel.
into the funnel. Option 2 is you interview your ideal client. So let's say you are someone that helps, you have a self-help book that helps authors market their book. Okay, your book is all about marketing for authors. You bring on potential clients and you're like, hey, I want to talk to you about your book and what we can do for marketing. And this is a
Mhm.
free resource. You get to ask me questions and I will help you market your book, or we can learn about your book. Boom, you have an interview. Now you're talking to potential clients.
Mhm.
So you're not selling your book, you're selling your services. We're going to the next rung up. But also people are listening to go, this person knows what he's talking about, or
Mhm.
she's talking about. I'm going to go over to her website or their website and I'm going to fall into their funnel. That's your call to action, or I'm going to buy their book. The third option is a more is the coaching option, and it's similar to number two, but it's completely different. This is demonstrated to me by the first time by Dallas Travers or Traveler, one of the two. I can't remember. Her name is Dallas. On my podcast. It's been released, the episode. She records her coaching sessions with her clients, edits out the personal data, right? The things that people may not want in the coaching, and releases it.
Wow.
And so when you're listening to this, she does no other marketing other than her podcast for her business. And it brings her all the business she needs because people hear her coaching this person and they're like, wow, she knows what she's doing. I
Mhm.
want to be coached by her, or at least starts falling into their circle, their funnel at the top end. And before you know it, they're on the podcast being coached by her. And they're like, oh my God, I didn't know I would pay $7,000 for this. Um, I don't know if it's $7,000. I'm just saying. Um, yeah, those are the three ways you, as an author, you can either talk about your book, you can interview potential clients of your book, uh, and or you can give them coaching from your book, and then you send people to your book. And that's all it is. It's you're demonstrating your knowledge in three different ways. Either
Mhm.
you're just talking about your knowledge, you're helping someone relatively, or you're at least trying to get a client, or if you have a client, you're just showcasing your knowledge by actively helping someone.
Mhm. Can I offer a fourth one? If
Sure. I love a fourth one.
so, and it's and you can tell me if it's wrong. I'm totally open to this, and we're gonna go over because
It's
this is an awesome
completely right.
conversation.
It's completely right.
So my style of show, so I bring on a lot of experts like yourself. I bring on a lot of marketing gurus. I don't know, I don't like that term. Marketing pros that have
There you
been
go.
around the block and are and do marketing. Funnel experts. I bring on designers and editors. And the approach I take to a lot of the conversations is almost roundtable of like, let's take this topic and dissect it. And then we equally dissect it. So like, just like we're doing right now, you would give me
Hmm.
3 options and I'm like, hey, can we do a fourth? And it's almost like this collaboration of minds. Like what would you categorize that as?
It falls between 2 and 3,
Okay.
because you haven't guessed on, so it's one of the two of
Mhm.
those. However, you're also displaying your authority and knowledge. So it kind of goes with number one. And
Mhm.
I love it because it's a great aspect and I haven't seen it used before.
Mm. Oh, I'm
Um,
unique. I like that.
you're Canadian, obviously you're unique. Um, no, I love it. It's an interesting idea. Now I'm trying to figure out how to monetize it. That's what my brain's doing now, trying to see how we can monetize it. Because the other ones, they're easy to monetize because you have like you're showcasing your knowledge, or you're showcasing you're actively recruiting clients, or you're again showcasing your knowledge.
I can
This
tell you how
one,
I've monetized it if you'd like.
yeah, please, I would love to.
So this is where my affiliate work comes in really
Ah,
hard. So if the listener will have two options. So let's say we're marketers. I have a marketer on and they offer a program, but the listeners are split between they have a book that needs help marketing, or they have an idea that they need help writing with. They're going to be able to choose me as the publisher or this person as the marketer. So if they're listening to me as the publisher, I'm offering the before the book angle, like before the book is
mhm,
published, so that they can come to me. That's obviously monetization.
yeah.
And then for them, for the guests, it's like, okay, if you have a book and you want to reach out to one of my favorite people is Melanie. If you want to reach out to Melanie, here's her link, and that's an affiliate link.
So it's referral business.
It's referral based, yeah, exactly, referral based marketing. And then you get to pick who you're really selective in, because I only bring in people that I actually believe in. Like I believe in their
I
services.
feel honored then. If I
Yeah, well, right. Like I was on your show. I've listened to your show. I like what you do. I like what you're capable of doing
now you're
with
gonna make me
guests.
blush. Like
I
Jesus,
know, right? You told me to like pump up your tires, so I'm going to.
you're blowing a lot of smoke up my my kilt here.
Yeah, we're
Uh,
going to talk affiliate marketing after this, right? Absolutely. Yeah.
one
So
hundred
I
percent.
I does that is that an angle that you would feel is appropriate?
It's a perfect angle because you're building your audience to gain to know, like, and trust you, which is something all businesses and people need. So you're building up your credibility in being able to handle yourself in a conversation with multiple different industries and experts by showcasing your knowledge, like, hey, I know this and this, or just like how you showed me, because I never thought of it being a split. So
Mhm.
like you're having your guests on, they're showing their acumen as an authority, but you're also standing toe to toe with them, showing your knowledge base, and then leave it having the referral base option. That's a great form of monetization. um, yeah, no, that's really that's a genius way of doing it. Now we know four ways, people. Look, I just learned something. I've been in a decade, and I just learned something new. So if
I'm a baby podcaster too.
from
I'm
a
gonna call myself.
baby,
What did I call you? I called you legendary, and you called me genius. I think we
yeah,
can cap the show there.
yeah,
Like
we're thank you for listening, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great day. And
from
you've
the
been
legendary Phil Better and the genius Larissa Stone. I actually have a requirement that if when people talk about me like behind my back or whatever, they're if they can say whatever they want as long as they end it with, but she's a genius. I don't care.
she's murdered 17 people, but she's a
She's a
genius.
genius. Exactly. I'll be on one of those true crime podcasts.
Yeah, you're gonna be the next wave of true crime podcast, the Genius
But
True
she's a
Crime Podcast.
genius.
But she's a genius.
That's right. All right. I
Okay.
am going to wrap up here with my two favorite questions. The first one is, what offers do you have for our listeners? Because I know they're going to want more.
Okay, if you're listening to this right now, I want you, and if you're listening to you on your phone, I want you to open up your browser. If it's Chrome, or if it's Safari, or it's Firefox, or if you're using Microsoft Explorer, I don't know why you would be, but you're allowed to. You could be a 78-year-old who only knows Microsoft. Whatever browser you're using on your phone or on your computer, wherever you're watching this or listening to this, I want you to go to philbetterinc.com/resources. You will get a free PDF of all the tools that I use and I give to my clients to maximize your time and efficiency while podcasting. So, what does that mean? It means you're getting two AI tools that will help you with the creating the content for your podcast. So, if you want to create a newsletter from your episode, or if you want to create social media aspects from your audio, you can do that. Like it's like having ChatGPT for your podcast.
Mhm.
It literally it is, because they connect it to ChatGPT, so you can ask it a whole bunch of questions. It's an amazing tool. It's called Podcastle. No, it's called Cast Magic. Sorry, Cast Magic is the AI tool that does all the content. The other one is called Podcastle, that does all the editing. It makes you sound like you have a professional editor if you can't afford one, which I would say most podcasters can't. But if you can, pay for an editor, because they take your stuff to the next level. But those are, and then there's some other stuff like how to get onto podcasts, a whole bunch of sites that can put you in contact with podcasts there. There's a whole bunch of great tools that podcasters use that are hidden from the world that you have access to. So that's feelbetterinc.com/resources.
Excellente. Thank you. I'm going to check those out too. And the last question is the one that stumps most my guests. So we'll see how you do. What advice do you have for aspiring authors?
Just write.
Just
Beat you
oh,
there.
so simple, right?
Right?
Like, podcasting is easy, Phil. Like, why
No,
is
it's
this so
simple.
hard?
Podcasting is simple, not easy.
Podcasting is simple. Writing is simple.
It is. Because the minute you put down a word on a piece of paper, you're a writer. That's how I look at it. The minute you record a second of audio, you're a podcaster. Okay. I'm in the process of writing a book on podcasting. Do you know, it's very difficult. It's very annoying because you have all this knowledge and you're trying to shove it down there, and you're like, okay, now I have to make it into a sense. And then it's like, okay, now it has to have stories, and you have to have this, and you have to have that, and all the fun things. So yes, I know it's very, very difficult writing, but just start. All it takes is you to sit down 5 minutes and write. It doesn't matter if it's good, doesn't matter if it's bad. It does not matter. You will improve in time. You don't fail in life. It's your first attempt at learning. So just learn. So just write. Have someone review it. They say it's crap. Find someone else. If they say it's crap, it's probably crap. Try again, write again, and just keep writing until you're happy. And it's advice that I've been given by copywriters that I've interviewed. One of them, he writes a daily email. Like I keep getting, and I'm very annoyed that I have to go in, read this email, because it's like, but he writes daily emails. And he's like, he told me, he's like, I take 10 minutes. I sit down on my computer the first 10 minutes of my day after my cup of coffee and my first bowel movement, and I write.
Thank you, coffee.
Listen, yeah, thank you, coffee, right? And he just writes, and I'm like, okay. And I've started doing that, just to write my book. Just 10 minutes, sit down at the computer. Doesn't matter if I just hit D, and it's just a line of D.
Yeah.
I've written for the day and I feel accomplished, and that just gives you the motivation to go. And sometimes I end up writing for an hour, and I'm like, wait, I was only supposed to do this for 10 minutes. I have an interview. Holy shit.
Yeah. That's flexing the creative muscle, right? It's working it out when you don't want to work out. It's like when you know you should go for a run, but you really just want to go for a walk. So you write all those D's across the page, and at least you were out in the environment. At least you did something, right? Absolutely.
I put pen to paper, or
yeah.
Fingers to keyboards.
Fingers to keys. That's right. Yeah. All right, Phil. Well, when your book is out, we're going to have you back on the show so you can tell us all about how you survived that process. So I look forward to that. And thank you so much for a wonderful interview.
It was my pleasure, and I look forward to sharing my pain and suffering of writing that book with you.
Excellent. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of I Wrote That. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to our show so you don't miss any of our upcoming guests. And if this has led you to some inspiration to want to get started on your own authorship journey, whether you just have an idea or you have a manuscript that you're ready to publish, reach out to us at nextpagepublishing.net, and we will match you up with our team of experts to make the journey simple, easy, and smooth.